Do you keep ending up in toxic relationships? If so, you might be dealing with the tricky world of dating the Dark Triad. But what is it exactly? The Dark Triad refers to folks who have traits of narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism or sociopathy. Just from that, you can imagine how many red flags you'll be dealing with if you get mixed up with them. So, if you want to stop attracting these kinds of people into your life, stick around. In today's video, we're going to dive into the deep and often misunderstood world of Dark Triad personalities. We're talking about those who have narcissistic, psychopathic, and sociopathic or Machiavellianistic traits. These people can leave a trail of destruction behind them. So, if you want peaceful relationships, steer clear of them. Tune in for some tips on spotting people who are part of the Dark Triad early on. This way, you can steer clear and save yourself a lot of heartache. Plus, you'll have the know-how to protect yourself and find healthy love. But first of all, here's an unfortunate reality. A lot of relationship struggles often come from underlying personality disorder issues, and that's the last thing on most people's minds. What do we mean? A lot of folks blame external factors for problems in their relationships. Sure, sometimes that's true, but other times, the real issue might be an undiagnosed personality disorder. What's tricky is that examining their partner for signs of such a disorder is probably the last thing on their mind. Here's an example. If your partner keeps cheating and doesn't seem to care about your feelings, you might end up blaming others, like the people they're cheating with or their friends who egg them on. It's easier to point fingers than to face the possibility that your partner might be a narcissist, and that they could be cheating on you repeatedly because they get a kick out of the idea of having control over you because they know you'll still forgive them and take them back anytime. Often, people don't realize their partner might be a psychopath, narcissist, or sociopath. They end up making excuses for their partner's behavior and saying things like, "That's just how he is," and hope things will get better eventually. But the fact is that when you're dating a Dark Triad, that's just wishful thinking. These individuals are unlikely to change their ways, and it's essential to recognize the signs early on before you get too emotionally invested in them. So, let's go into detail with each aspect of the Dark Triad. Number 1, the narcissist side. The term narcissist often gets thrown around to describe people who seem super self-absorbed. But narcissism isn't just about having too much self-esteem. It's more about craving admiration to an excessive degree, wanting to be in the spotlight constantly, and expecting special treatment because they think they're one of a kind and superior to others. It's no surprise that being highly narcissistic can really mess up romantic relationships. A narcissist's intense need for attention and praise, especially from people they think they can be with romantically, often makes them seem super charming and charismatic. This helps them quickly spark a romance with someone who catches their eye. But their lack of empathy makes it tough for them to understand their partner's inner world, making it hard to maintain a relationship with them, let alone have a fulfilling one. On top of that, narcissists have a hard time genuinely falling in love and creating a trusting, equal partnership. They may give you the love-bombing treatment in the beginning, but they'll gradually reveal their true colors as the relationship progresses. Also, they might set strict rules in the relationship and try to isolate their partner from friends and family. This is just one of the concerning behaviors they'll show over time in the course of the relationship, and it's their way of exerting control over their partners. Research shows that many highly narcissistic people actually know they're self-centered. Meanwhile, their partners don't realize it until it's too late. By the way, make sure to subscribe if you've learned something new today. Number 2, the psychopathic side. Psychopathy is when someone doesn't feel empathy and has muted emotions. They can seem cold, detached, and manipulative. Like narcissists, they not just lack empathy, but they also think way too highly of themselves, and you'll never see them take responsibility for their actions. Despite this, spotting someone with psychopathic traits is actually pretty tough. Why? Because psychopaths can come across as totally normal, even charming. It then makes it easy for them to manipulate their victims, and they'll do exactly that. They don't have a conscience after all, and they're really good at hiding that side of themselves. So, you might not know that your partner is a psychopath until they've done something truly awful to you. In relationships, they often get involved in multiple short-term marriages and show sexual promiscuity. Meanwhile, their behaviors like lying, being impulsive, deceitful, and lacking self-control often lead to them committing criminal activities. Given all this, it's no wonder that most researchers see psychopathy as the darkest part of the Dark Triad. And if you think about it, psychopaths usually cause more harm to people and society than narcissists or sociopaths. Number 3, the Machiavellian or sociopathic side. Machiavellianism and psychopathy have a lot in common, but they're usually seen as different. For example, both Machiavellians and psychopaths can be pretty ruthless, to the point that they won't hesitate to exploit others, even their loved ones. But what makes Machiavellians different is that they typically aim for fame, status, and power. Psychopaths, on the other hand, are in it for their own benefit. Also, psychopaths are often more impulsive and aggressive. You won't find those traits as much in true Machiavellians. As for narcissists and Machiavellians, both show a lack of empathy and think they're better than everyone else. A key difference is that narcissists crave admiration, while high-level Machiavellians are all about gaining power. Plus, Machiavellians tend to be more into long-term planning to get what they want. Machiavellian traits can be trickier to spot compared to other Dark Triad traits, since the people who possess them are less likely to be grandiose or impulsive. But research shows there are some telltale signs, like often telling little white lies to get what they want, wanting to hang out with high-status people, and having a cynical view that everyone's out to cheat, steal, or lie to get ahead. People with high levels of Machiavellianism often have a hard time trusting others and struggle with the warm, friendly behaviors needed for healthy relationships. They might not think twice about deceiving or manipulating those close to them. It's no surprise that research shows Machiavellianism is linked to lower quality and less satisfaction in relationships. Getting to know the 3 aspects of the Dark Triad can free you from being stuck in a relationship with someone like that just because you didn't know. With this understanding, you can swiftly identify that what is happening is not normal and that there are certain actions you can do when you identify it. For example, if you're in a relationship where your partner dismisses your concerns and acts superior whenever you bring up issues, you'll now know that just enduring it is not just your only option. You can recognize the behavior and call it out like, "This is narcissism," and think about what you should do next. Being aware of the signs of a Dark Triad individual empowers you to make better decisions. It allows you to ask yourself, can a relationship really work with someone who shows psychopathic or narcissistic traits? And by asking these tough questions, you can make more informed choices. In the end, it's essential to prioritize your own well-being and happiness in any relationship. And being aware of the Dark Triad traits can help you do just that. Remember, always choose yourself over any toxic relationship. And if you liked this video, then check out these related videos to see more. And make sure to subscribe and leave a comment saying I subscribed, and we will personally reply to your comment.